Hi, Crafty friend. It's me, Justine Dvorak from Stationery by Justine, where when I craft, my world stands still. Today, I'm coming at you with a Pajama Crafter Stamps product video. I am on the design team for Pajama Crafter Stamps, so I am always happy to share their new goodies. And they don't have a release every month, but this month they do have a release for September, and they're releasing a whole bunch of really beautiful and fun stamps. So the first one that I'm working with on the right here is from the Night Divine stamp set. So that whole manger scene with the Holy Family there, and the star and the sentiment is all from the same set, and there's also a Merry Christmas sentiment as well. So that one is so cool, and it is really big. I wanted to use that whole big sentiment, so I chose to make it a 5x7. And speaking of large areas, I'm also making my second card a 5x7. My little bears there, they have stolen my heart. They are so cute. They're from the Happy Camper stamp set. So I am really not an expert colorist at all. So I actually went ahead and colored these off camera before I filmed, and I put my Scan and Cut to work. I love my Scan and Cut. It definitely helps me batch out some of my stamps and cutting them. So love using that little machine of put it to work. We'll just put it that way. Anyway, the Happy Camper stamp set is so fun. I might have modified it a little bit. On the sign that says "Don't feed the bears," I crossed off the "don't," so it just says "Feed the bears." I thought that that was kind of fun. So to make my campsite for my sweet little bears, I just covered up my bears basically with a tray, and I just put some white acrylic paint in some water. This is not fancy acrylic paint. This whole bottle was 99 cents. It's from Apple Barrel Snow White. It's from Walmart. Nothing fancy. I would recommend you not just leave acrylic paint sit out because it is acrylic, so it is a plastic. It will harden in place. But I'm going to work with it wet so it's not a problem, and it's going to wipe off my mat because I'm going to clean it up before it dries. So I have an angled brush. I'm going to make tapping motions with my pencil here and create kind of a night sky. Some of my blobs get to be a little bit big, but I just go with it because it's fine. This is just for fun. And I love splattering. I'm taking my thumb on the side and just making some crazy splatters there. So I'll set that off to the side to dry and give my area a little bit of a wipe. And it's a good thing that I had that tray down because you can see on the tray I did get some splatter. So my little bears are all safe. Just clean that up with a little bit of water and a microfiber rag. And yes, I say rag because I'm a Minnesotan. Alrighty. I have not mentioned the third stamp set that has come out from Pajama Crafter Stamps. It's called Elfin Christmas. It is so cute. There's two elves. There's a boy and a girl, and then there are 6 sentiments, and they're kind of fun. We have Merry Elfmas, Son of a Nutcracker, It's Christmas, Just Elfin Around, Spreading Christmas Cheer, Believe in Magic of the Season, and then a little sparkle. So lots of options there. Let's go back to my bear card here. I'm going to make a moon for my bears because they have a night scene. So I have this little punch that I've had in my craft room since I was a wee little lass. And I just punched out a circle, moved it to the side, and punched out kind of a half of the circle, and that got me a moon. So no need to spend money on a special die when I can easily make that with my punch. All right, I'll just take my brown paper here that I cut down. I think I cut it down to 1.5 inches. And this is a 5x7 card, so it's 1.5 inches by 5. Nope, by 7. 1.5 inches by 7. Now the bottom of my little starry night kind of got a little muddled, so we're just going to cover it up. Nobody will see at all. My paper trimmer that I used was from Spellbinders. It is getting time to change my blade again because I can tell that my edge is getting a little bit hairy, but that's okay. I love using that trimmer. Okay, now to arrange my scene, basically what I'm going to do is just build the scene. I have a whole bunch of these trees cut out. I have the tent, the fire, the bag of marshmallows, and the basket. I also have the moon, I guess, and then my two bears. So I'm creating the scene by having them kind of center around this fire. Hindsight is a little bit 2020 here. I wish that I would have placed the bear a little bit differently so I could see more of the opening of the tent. I think the tent is so cool, but that's all right. Now for the sentiment, I'm going to use a bad day camping is still better than a good day working, end quote, anonymous. I think that that is such a fun sentiment, and I actually was a chicken nugget, and I stamped out the stamp set on my little moon scrap before I stamped it on my card. I don't know why I do that, but I get nervous about using a stamp for the first time, but I really should not have a problem like that, but whatever. Anyway, the other stamp sets in the Happy Crafter Happy Camper stamp set with the bears is also Happy Camper. And then there's also one that says, excuse me, not here for a long time, but a good time. So there's some fun sentiments that you can pair there with the bears. But it's up to you, you know? Okay, now with my scan and cut, looking at this, I think that next time I do a night scene, I will probably set my cutting blade to cut closer to the stamped image so I don't have as much white space. Right now I use the 0.04 space, but I think having less white would look better next time. So, you know, hindsight's always 2020. All right, I'm going to make a little post for my don't/do feed the bears, and I'm just using some scrap from my little ground area and some random Copic markers that happen to just be out. And I'm just kind of giving it a little jagged cut with my Spellbinder shears. Nothing fancy. Again, we don't need a die. We can make our own. Oh, yes. Now that looks like wood. So I'm really happy with how that is looking. And right now I'm just testing with my Copic marker. I wanted some kind of a shadow for my scene. I didn't want it to look like they were just plopped there. So I'm using this Copic marker. Let's see, that was probably E00. Sorry for not putting the cap up so you could see it, but this is basically just creating a little bit of a shadow from the animals and the scene from the moonlight. So it's coming from the top and going on the bottom. I didn't want the edges to be too harsh, so I'm trying to round everything out. Nothing has been glued down here, so I can just kind of give it a lift and hope for the best. And some of my larger splatters will be covered up, so that made me happy as a clam. All right, now for all my gluing, I use Barely Art liquid glue. It is my go-to glue. So for gluing, I just want to make sure that everything is in place. And then I sometimes do use foam. So I don't know. Sometimes I like to pop things up. Sometimes I get a little crazy with the foam and pop everything up. But it's one of those things that just kind of goes with my mood. But I am going to pop this bear up. I have these foam strips that are just kind of my go-to foam. If you are not aware, and if you are a toner foiler, I'm not sure. If you like to toner foil, you might want to check out the flashcards from Pajama Crafter Stamps. There are new packs almost every time they do a release. They do such a great job at designing them. They are sometimes really fun and silly, and sometimes they are a little more serious. So it's a good mix of everything there. From July's release, there was some teacher ones and some baking. And then earlier this spring, they had some American themed, kind of patriotic. So that's quite the spread of more of the breadth. The breadth is wide. Oh my goodness. More flashbacks to art class. But Anyway, I love their flashcards. They're easy for ink blending, for toner foiling, and I am going to have a video up on my channel not too long after I posted this video. So the toner foil video should be on my channel when you're watching this one. It should be available. So if you're interested in checking that out, you can go ahead and do that. And their flashcard packs are pretty reasonably priced, considering that you get, I think, 24 panels in a pack. That's a really great deal. Also, if you're looking for great deals from Pajama Crafter Stamps, the stamps, you can buy them individually, or you can do the bundle and get the stamp and die. I recently have fallen more in love with my scan and cut, so I've spent more money on stamps than dies. So my bang for my buck goes a little bit farther because stamps are usually cheaper just because of the material that they're made out of, but don't let that fool you. The quality from Pajama Crafter Stamps is top notch. And if you are not familiar with their company, they are an American-made, veteran-owned company, so it's always really fun to support small businesses, and I am super thankful for veterans, so I'm always happy to support a veteran. Also, for my night sky, I took my Wink of Stella pen and low-key brutally attacked my background with my glitter pen, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, I did have my glitter pen explode on me earlier this month, but that's another story for a different day. All right, for my sentiment, I wanted to heat emboss it with some white embossing powder. So I have my new handy dandy, not really too new, but new to me for a couple months now, this little anti-static brush. It is such a good thing. Look at that. Even with black paper, it doesn't leave a chalky residue. That is from Rabbit Hole. And I mean, I've had anti-static pouches before. I like to call them like the mouse pillows, and they are chalky and don't like them very much. And this works out so well. Hi, if you can see my face. I'm going to use some clear ink there, and then grab my embossing powder. I keep them in these little sandwich containers that are from Dollar Tree. Nothing too expensive here. Give it a little tap tap, and I'll warm up my heating gun. And my heat embossing gun is an oldie but a goodie. I mean, this was my mom's back in the day, and I've used it, she's used it. It's been great. Oh, apparently before I use my heat gun, I'm going to use my tool-in-one picky tool and just fuss around with some embossing flakes. I don't know. Sometimes I just get a little crazy with some of those things. But after coloring this image of the Holy Family up there for so long, I really wanted to not mess up my sentiment. That is such a bummer when I make a really cool card or spend time doing one technique and then the sentiment is like crooked or is kind of poorly put on. Ugh, that is probably my crafting pet peeve. So if you have a crafting pet peeve, let me know in the comments. I would love to know. A crooked sentiment or a poorly embossed one is probably one of my pet peeves, but what else? Anyway, we're not going to get into that. I'm going to take a 5x7 card panel that I already had all set to go. I think that panel was from Spellbinders. I love their pre-made card panels. And then some double-sided tape. We'll just taper up and pop on that big black area onto the front. Now you saw it did warp a little bit with my heat gun, but the best way to kind of prevent that is to use a low setting and to heat the top and the bottom like you kind of saw there. I know this is sped up, so it's going a little bit quick. But I would love for you to let me know in the comments here, which card is your favorite? So is it the Nativity one with the Night Divine stamp set, or is it the Happy Camper with the bears? I will be posting a third card using the Elfin Christmas stamp set on my Instagram in a little bit, probably next week. and that one is the slimline. So I really enjoyed making that one. It was just all sorts of silly Christmas, and I ended up pulling in the sleigh from, ooh, there's another stamp set there. Let's see if I can remember the name of it. Probably not by the time I'm done with this video, but that sleigh was also from Pajama Crafter Stamps. So it really paired well with the elves, and the scale to me looked like it kind of worked. All right, my background for my manger, I used some Bristol Smooth cardstock. Love that cardstock. And I just took my brushes and used some of the Distress Oxides. I think it was squeezed lemonade in the center. And then I used whatever was left on my black brush. So it wasn't anything new or fresh. It's just whatever was left over. I wanted it to be kind of like a gray, hazy kind of look for the star shining. Anyway, I'll finish this off by popping on my star to the manger. Ta-da! Oh, that looks so cute. I think it would be really fun to have little add-ons for creating a whole scene. So if you are listening, Pajama Crafter Stamps, I think that would be super cool. Oh, they look so cool. I love doing a little close-up as well. But by the way, these were illustrated by, I'm so bad at reading these, but I will put it on the screen. They are illustrated, so they are done by hand, which is another really cool little tidbit, and that is for the Elfin Christmas and the Night Divine. So I hope I did their work justice by my coloring. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you watching this video all the way to the end. Again, let me know your favorites in the comments, and we will see you next time. I will probably have a video going up tomorrow on my channel. Oh, and by the way, there is an Instagram hop for Pajama Crafter Stamps for their new release. So head over to my Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, crafty friend.